Lyon College football. Good to have you along. Yes, we're on the road. We're in Oklahoma one more time, and we'll be taking on a very worthy opponent, one that we've heard much about early on in the season with the success they've had, Panhandle State. But I don't want to talk about that right now, Coach. A couple of things about our soccer team, our women's soccer team. Played a close one at home, lost on Tuesday, then on the road to Lindenwood Bellevue, and that'll be on Saturday. Men will also be playing Lindenwood Bellevue on Saturday after they went into overtime.
Yeah.
And won 2-1.
Yeah, they did good.
They did good. We always like to talk about all the good things. We have more good things to talk about. But one good thing to talk about is your big win on the road as you travel to North Dakota. Not a short trip, to say the least. But your players had to have a lot of fun coming home talking about that big 61-0 win.
Yeah, I think it was very good for our team. It's one that anytime you can go on the road and win is good. And for us, it was the first one that's ever happened on the road for us. So to kind of get that off our back and to realize that we can go on the road and compete just as well as we do when we're at home is a good thing for our football team, and very, very pleased with how everything worked out this week.
Well, you had some other firsts as well. In addition, your defense threw a shutout, first shutout on the road. You had a player score 5 touchdowns, which tied a record. So it was kind of a record-setting win for you in more ways than one.
Yeah, it was one that, like I say, there was a lot of good things that came out of that football game, and for our defense to pitch a shutout was very good, and we've been close a couple times. We were close against Missouri Baptist there at the beginning part of this season, and and the chance for Fabian to score a lot of points there as a senior, and hopefully that's not the only one we score 5 touchdowns on. Maybe we'll get it somewhere else down the line too.
Yes.
But just all those things, and the ability for us to get a lot of guys in the football game too was very good, and got some guys that maybe don't play a ton, a lot of game experience this week.
Well, that's always a good thing to have, because if injuries occur, then you're reaching down there and you're getting those players that haven't been used to starting, that will have to start for you. I thought you had a very good quarterback play in this game.
Yeah, Cody Jones started for us and played quite a bit, and just in that first half, he was throwing that ball around the field and doing everything as an offense that we wanted to do. He's a senior that can command the huddle and command the offense and knows what we expect and what we want. And we've played both quarterbacks throughout the season, and still we're playing both quarterbacks in that game. But he had the hot hand, and we went ahead and rode with it.
And that's what you do, and it's always good to have 2 quarterbacks. Needless to say, when we get back, let's talk about your opponent coming up this week, Panhandle State. That's where we are in Oklahoma. We'll talk about that and much, much more on the Lyon College pregame show with head football coach Kyle Phelps. We'll do all of that in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Back to Lyon College football on the road, taking on Panhandle State. We're in Oklahoma. We're not going to say this is Oklahoma City by any stretch of the imagination, but it's kind of set out by itself.
Yeah, it's in Goodwell, Oklahoma. I've never been there. But from everybody I've talked to, there's not a whole lot there. I know there's no lodging there because we got to stay a little ways away. But I think that mainly there's the school and some different things. But for the most part, the whole town revolves around the school, and that's a good thing for them. Obviously, I'm sure they get a lot of support out there,
right.
And everything like that, which will be fun. It'll be fun to go into a hostile environment.
It will be, and Panhandle State is well known for football throughout the entire area, and this year is no exception. They have a good team.
Yeah, they've been at the Division II level the last few years, and have dropped back down to the NAIA now, and all their other sports play in the Sooner Athletic Conference, and then their football team plays in the CSFL with us, and they're a solid football team. They're 2-1. The one loss they had was to a Division II team that they previously played in that same conference with, and then they beat a conference opponent last week in Bacone, 31-8. So they're very, very solid. Defensively up front, they're fast. They're old. They're seniors. and they're going to run to that football. And we have to do a good job on offense of containing that. And then defensively, they've done a couple different things throughout the year, but I think ultimately they want to run the football. And I think that we're going to have to be tough up front and stop that.
Mm-hmm. I would say if you were pointing to their strengths, that one of them that you would talk about would be their speed and quickness.
Yes, I think that they are a fast football team in all aspects. That goes from defensive line play all the way through the rest of their defense, and then offensively, their skilled guys are quick and can move. They're guys that run the football are going to put their foot in the ground and get it north and south, and that they have the ability to break that big play at any point in time. So we've really got to we got to be on our game on defense, and then offensively we got to be on our game too, because they're going to bring that pressure. They're going to fly to the football. They're going to try and get us in long down situations.
Got about half a minute here. Let's talk a little bit about their skill position quarterback. What do you see in him?
Yeah, he's an athletic guy. He's a guy that can run. He can run both the. He can run some option stuff. He can get out of the pocket and he can hurt you. It's one that throwing the football. I don't know if that's his strongest suit, but he's athletic enough that if he starts to get out of that pocket, we got to be careful not to come off those guys, because if we do, he will make the throw. But I think that it's going to be about containing him and containing those running backs.
I want to talk about, when we come back, about one of the things I really like to talk about the most, and that's Lyon College, something that we can control. And we'll talk about, perhaps, Coach, if you will, what do you consider to be some keys to this game in order for the Scots to come away with a victory? Back 2-2. Lyon College football, good to have you along on 93 KZLE. As Big Daddy Randy Allen will be along shortly with the starting lineups and the play-by-play from deep in Oklahoma as we take on Panhandle State. Well, as always, keys to what it's going to take to be successful in whatever, from life to a football game. And in this case, what's it going to take to garner a victory, Coach?
I think, like I say every week, I guess, we're going to have to play fast and we're going to have to play physical. But, I think as far as defensively, we're going to have to contain that run game, and we're going to have to contain their skilled guys, and we're going to have to be a physical football team. I think this game here is going to be a physical test on both teams. I think that both teams are physical football teams, and I think both teams want to impose their will on the other. So I think that defensively, we're going to have to be solid. We're going to have to rotate some bodies in there, and we're going to have to make sure we stay fresh on that side. And then offensively, I think a lot of it goes to how well we can handle the guys they have up front. Mm-hmm. And, because we want to run the football. Sure. We've seen that over the course of this year and in previous years is our systems are built around the run game, and it's going to be about how well our offensive line handles those defensive linemen and those two linebackers that walk up a lot. And I think that's going to be a big part of how well we can be and how successful we can be, because even if we're throwing the football and have to throw the football, we're going to need some time to do it. And so we're going to have to get some great play out of our offensive line this week.
Good luck, and offensive line has been playing better, so that's always good news to hear. Physically, do you have any injuries coming out of the last game? How are you standing there?
No, I think, injury, we got some bangs and bruises and things like that, but nothing that put anybody out after the last game, so that's always good.
That's good.
Because we've had a pretty rough go with it this year as far as injuries, but, as far as that goes, we're pretty healthy going into this one, so, we'll be looking towards seeing what we can do when we get over there.
Mm-hmm. Coach, we talked about the women and men's soccer team a little earlier. Let's talk a little bit about the girls volleyball team. They won their tri-match at Carly's Ridge. Congratulations there. And on Friday, of course, at Park, and for a game that we haven't got the results on because we're on the road. And at William Wood today, so the girls have been playing well.
Yeah, Coach Green, he had a good class come in, and he's got a lot of players there that he does well with. And personally, I haven't got a chance to really see him play this year because of everything that we've had and the road trips that we've had going on. But I hope to get over there and watch him play. and see the product that he's putting out there. Because based on the scores and everything you see, it looks like it's a good team and a competitive team. And I know that conference is really, really tough on our volleyball team. So it's good to see him having some successes.
Always good to see success in Lyon College athletics. Well, Coach, speaking of success, let's win it some more.
Let's do it.